Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and today we're gonna utilize the pressure cooker to make orange chicken. And not just any orange chicken, the most delicious orange chicken you've ever made in your life. How do I know? Well, I don't actually. It just totes that it is the best orange chicken that you will ever make. And because we're making it in the pressure cooker, it's healthier because it's not fried in batter. I love that crispy batter that's on the outside of orange chicken, so it's gonna be hard to beat a restaurant style orange chicken, but if this is good and it meets that craving, oh my goodness, this is gonna be great. Now, what I wanted to mention was this summer, as we're released to roam about the country, we're gonna have less time in our kitchens and more time out exploring and seeing the world again after we've been stuck inside for a year. So this is a great recipe to have in your pocket for those days whenever you are running around doing crazy stuff and you need to get dinner in quick. Now, it's not quite a get it together and go recipe because maybe it's gonna take a little bit longer than 20 minutes, but I don't know, the directions look so easy, and I'm so excited to try this recipe with you today. So you ready for this? Let's go. Okay, as you can see, I actually have two pressure cookers here, but rest assured, you really only need one. You just need a way to make rice. But I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you how to make rice in the Instant Pot really easily, and it'll be ready in time for our orange chicken. So let's go to the quick cooker first, and we're just gonna make some Calrose rice in the quick cooker in 7 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that lid, and I have 2 cups of rinsed Calrose rice. Now, why is it important to rinse your rice? I am so glad that you asked. In this case, it's because the quick cooker and the Instant Pot tend to burn rice, often because of that extra starch that is in it. So you really need to rinse your rice well before you stick it into your Instant Pot or your quick cooker. Just whatever your pressure cooker is, please rinse it well. You don't have to get all the starch out, and when you drain it, all the water doesn't have to come out. Just kind of eyeball it. If you get a little more water than you're supposed to, it's not gonna be the end of the world, but you will be rewarded for rinsing your rice. Next, we are gonna put in the exact same amount of water that we did of rice. Now, I know some of you are like, whoa, wait a minute. This is not instant rice. No, it is not. But we are not gonna lose any of that water out of this pot. And so if you put any more water than the exact amount that you've put in of Calrose rice, you'll actually get this rice that's way too sticky, and it's not very good. So definitely, rice is perfect in our pressure cookers, but you really want to Google the name of the rice you're using and your pressure cooker. So like you put in Calrose pressure cooker rice, and then you would find a recipe for someone who has actually made it like that. I have made almost every type of rice in this machine, and I actually got a question recently about the rice, and so I'm trying to include how I'm doing my rice, each kind of rice, in the pressure cooker with my meal. Usually I just say, my rice is back there in the pressure cooker, but now I'm actually going to show you how we're doing it. So let's go ahead and add our water. All right, and because I don't want to dirty up another tool, I'm just gonna use my hand, stir it around. Yep, that's great. If you are a salt person and you like putting salt in your rice, go ahead and put salt in your rice now. But I am not going to salt this because I do not know how this is going to taste yet. So I'm gonna put on my lid, and now I'm gonna turn it to custom time, and then I'm gonna go all the way down to 7 minutes. And then I'm gonna push start. Okay, now our rice is going, and I'm actually gonna move it right off to the side just a little bit so that we can get to the chicken part. All right, I have Walter here. Walter and we are going to hang out and enjoy this chicken recipe. Okay, first thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna want to turn our pot to saute. And we're gonna want to make sure that it says hot before we do anything else. So here we go. I'm gonna push saute, and 30 minutes, that's fine. It's not gonna take 30 minutes. All right, while that is warming up, I thought I would go over the recipe itself. Now, I am doubling the recipe, so if you're just one family unit, then definitely keep in mind that this is a double, and this is an 8-quart and this is a 6-quart Instant Pot. So I'm doubling the recipe here. The other thing I want to mention is when I was measuring out these ingredients, I'm a little scared, like quite frankly. But this had such great reviews that I'm like, I've got to try it. It actually calls for brown sugar and white sugar and orange juice. I'm a bit scared about the sugar factor, but it is orange chicken, so it should be okay. I don't know. So there were a lot of great reviews on this recipe. I think it came from All Recipes, but I will leave the link to that recipe in my comments. If I make any changes to the recipe, I will also leave that printable, but they had a printable on their website, so I think it was allrecipes.com. I can't remember, but anyway. All right, so we're looking pretty hot over here. Let's check to see if it says hot yet. It does not, it says on, so it will say hot soon. All right, and once our pot is hot, we are gonna actually add some oil. Now, if you really wanted a brown crust on your chicken, your better option is to brown this on the stove, says the directions. But I want to utilize 1 pot for this recipe. Now, I know I have a whole bunch of other dishes, but I do that for you guys. If I was just doing this for my own family, I would just use 1 measuring cup and 1 measuring spoon and get it all together at the same time. But for the sake of time, although I ramble so much, I'm so sorry, I measured it out for you. So let's start our chicken. So we are gonna want to brown this chicken in batches. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some in, and then as it browns, I'm gonna go ahead and remove it and then brown some more. So let's see if our oil is ready. Oh yeah. And we're not cooking this, we're literally just browning it a little bit. And don't worry if stuff sticks to the bottom, we'll deglaze the pan with a little orange juice in a little bit. And if you feel like it's sticking too much, give it some more oil. So far, I don't see it getting very brown yet, but it's still early. I mean, I don't know. Half of me just wants to throw it in raw because I don't really need that brown bits, but the brown bits are gonna give it a different texture, so I thought maybe I should do it. I mean, it is the first time I'm making this recipe, so maybe I'll follow the directions, but not very good at following directions. Sometimes I just make it up as I go. Okay, executive decision. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. I'll brown that as much as I brown this one, and then we'll call it good. Because I literally don't want dry chicken. That would be the worst thing ever. So I'm just gonna scoop this out and put it on a plate. I see now why they said if you want it to be really brown, you should do it on the stove top. That makes a ton of sense now because this is not really brown at all. This is just pale chicken once again. Okay, well, we'll get the next bit in and call it good. Oh, there we go. Look, I am getting brown. I just wasn't patient enough. Be patient, young Padawan. Be patient. It will brown if you be patient. Maybe the pot was just not hot enough. I don't know. I'm struggling. I'm struggling with what to do because I know that when I set this pot for 5 minutes in just a second, that this chicken will be cooked all the way through at just that 5 minutes. So technically I'm drying the chicken out a little bit. Oh, I hate that. You know, most Instant Pot recipes on the internet, as a whole, I mean, as a majority, I guess, overcook their chicken, and it's really bad. Like, I've read a few recipes where they're like, yeah, put your chicken breast in for 15 minutes on high pressure, and I'm like, that's disgusting. Oh, no, That is too much time. Usually I put chicken breast in for like 9 minutes and that's it. Sometimes a little more if it's still really cold, but 15 minutes for chicken breast, that's gross. Okay, I'm so worried about this overcooking. I don't really want to brown it anymore. I'm sorry, person who made the recipe. I'm just not gonna do it. So I'm gonna put it back in my half-cooked chicken and I'm gonna give it a good stir. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add all of the sauce ingredients to the pot. So let's start with our orange juice. And that is a ton of orange juice. And I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a stir. Actually, I'll wait to stir until everything else is in there. Now we have soy sauce and ginger and garlic. And we have white wine or chicken broth. I'm using chicken broth. We have brown sugar, like I mentioned, yikes, and white sugar. I'm really struggling putting this in, but for the sake of science and this recipe, I'll put it in. And then a zest of a lemon. Actually, it's 2 lemons because I'm doubling it, but there you go. And we're gonna put in that tomato sauce to cut that sugar just a little. And then last but not least, we have Sriracha. Now, she said this one was optional. My family loves hot stuff, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in. And I'm gonna put the whole amount in. She said you could cut it in half, but I'm just gonna put it all in. Because hot stuff and my family, they're friends. Me, I'm a little bit of a wimp. For those of you who have been following the channel for a while, you know I'm a wimp. But I still enjoy hot stuff. It just makes me a little sweaty. All right, look at that. That looks like a beautiful sauce already. Okay, I guess that's it. Let's find our lid. All right, let's put our lid right on. Make sure that Walter is sealing. Walter's sealing when he's faced right at the camera. Okay, now we are gonna hit cancel. Bink. Then we're gonna hit pressure cook and we're gonna hit 5 minutes. And there we go. So at the end of the 5 minutes, we're gonna let it natural pressure release for 10 minutes. Our rice is done. How fun. Now with the rice, we're actually going to quick release. So I'm gonna go ahead and quick release now. Oh, actually I'm gonna quick release in just a second because then you won't be able to hear me. So we're gonna let this natural pressure release for 10 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm gonna cook up some broccoli and we will be back to make the slurry and thicken that up and then it's ready to serve. I'm so excited. We'll be back. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, so let's release the pressure and get our cornstarch slurry started. Ooh, the smell coming out of this pot right now is fantastic. Okay, while that finishes up, let's make the cornstarch slurry. So I have some orange juice and some cornstarch here that I am just going to mix together and make a nice little slurry. And if you are not a cornstarch user, you can use arrowroot powder. You could probably even use a little flour if you wanted, but you just need something to thicken that sauce. And make sure there are no lumps left in your slurry because those lumps will become hard little bits of cornstarch and they'll be like gummy. Ugh, ugh. It's gross. Thank you, Walter, for your service. Okay, right away, we are going to get the pot on saute again. And we are going to add in our cornstarch slurry and stir. This looks fantastic. All right, let's add that in. Okay, and we want this to cook for about 2 or 3 more minutes and thicken. Basically, we're just letting it thicken. And look at that, starts boiling right away. And it should take only about 2 or 3 minutes to thicken. All right, while that's thickening, let's look at our rice. So after this was done, I fluffed this with a fork and I'll show you the results. Look at that. Beautiful Calrose rice. It is a high gluten rice, so it's almost like a sushi rice. I actually use this for my sushi. I love Calrose rice because of its texture and the stickiness. So even when you rinse it off, it still retains some of that sticky texture. But in just 7 minutes, you have some pretty fantastic rice. I love making rice inside of my pressure cooker. It's one of my favorite things. I do not make it on the stove anymore. Never, never. All right, it's been 3 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and push cancel. And we are gonna check the thickness of our sauce. So let's look. That's pretty thick. Ooh. Ho, ho, ho. Oh my, wow. Uh-oh. That's really good. Sugar and all. Ooh. So now the directions say that you need to let it sit for a couple minutes just to continue to thicken, but there's no more heat. So, that sauce is phenomenal. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have let it thicken up and it looks pretty fantastic. So look at that. I am pretty impressed with the flavor of this sauce. I'm a little worried about the fact that it is white meat and we seared it and then put it in for 5 minutes, but maybe it will be fine. We're also going to sprinkle with a little bit of green onions, and that looks fantastic. Check it out. That looks pretty awesome. And now we must know, how does she taste? Okay, I already know the sauce tastes phenomenal. So let's taste it with the rice and the chicken. Okay, so the chicken is a little overdone, but wow, that sauce is fantastic. I would definitely not sear the meat in the future because it did dry out. The chicken did dry out just a little bit, but it is not so dry that it's not enjoyable. I'm gonna eat another bite just to make sure. Oh my goodness. That is a keeper of a recipe. All the sugar and everything. Wow. That is orange chicken like you will never taste it ever. I mean, it tastes like orange chicken, but it's also healthier because you don't have that crispy coating on it, but it does meet the need for orange chicken. This is good. This is real good. All right, you guys. Well, that's it for me. I am gonna get off here and I'm gonna feed my family and we're gonna enjoy eating all of this sugar in our chicken. If you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos several times a week, and I'm always looking for the next adventure. So if you have an idea for me, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. All right, bye.